What do you think are the most pressing problems or major issues facing Mesquite in the short term and the long term?
Jobs has to be number one. Obviously, we're in an economic downturn, and we can do more to help businesses, I think, be successful. I think the Business Advocate Committee can be very successful in that the sign issue, for example, the sign ordinances, I voted against every time because there were obviously going to be some problems come forward with that, with passing that legislation. We need to be able to help these businesses be successful. I call it circling the wagons because it's what you do in a small community like we have. We have to come together, circle the wagons, make sure we're successful here first, and make sure we're healthy as far as our business community goes, but we need jobs. We need these businesses to be successful.
Okay. Well, the Code of Conduct for elected officials provides council members with an expectation of how they are to interact with citizens during council meetings. Do you agree or do you disagree with the guidelines, and would you work towards any changes?
I definitely think we're the servants. The boss is the public. I think we need to take on that demeanor. Unfortunately, just the very way that our council chambers are put together, where you have this dais that's set above the people, and we're sitting up there with big high back chairs and looking down, that needs to be reversed. We need to understand who our boss is and that we're serving at the will of the people. There needs to be more respect. There needs to be more openness. It's sad that we're not. They come with honest, sincere questions that when you ask a question, it's because you want an answer. You want some kind of explanation. You don't have to go into long details or discuss or deliberate on those questions. I think we can give answers and show that respect for those people. You probably know how hard it is to even walk up to the microphone in the first place. That's scary for a lot of people, and when they come forward and do that, we need to understand that's our boss. They're asking us for an answer. I think at my work, if I were to treat my boss the way that we do people sometimes from the dais, I don't think I'd have a job very long.
Do you favor the City Council's current practice of using technical review meetings to review agenda items before City Council meetings themselves?
I've never actually been involved in a technical review meeting, but having been served on council before, I know it's difficult at times to get to all the department heads to talk about issues. But at the same time, bringing them all together and having those discussions, instead of having those discussions in an open meeting, it doesn't seem quite right. I'm just going to say it, I felt like my job, and feel like my job as a city councilman, is to act as the advocate between the people and City Hall. City Hall is the ones that is running the city. They're the ones putting forth the ordinances and the bills, and it's not the electeds. We're just voting on those. You need some kind of median between the public and the City Hall. And if you're having those discussions in private, I'm not sure you're going to get have the same questions. There are times that you ask very difficult questions of those department heads, and you're there to hold them accountable, hold their feet to the fire. So I'm afraid you lose some of that. If nothing else, the people at least are going to get the perception that, where's the tough questions? Why aren't you asking this? Because they're sitting at home or they're sitting in the audience thinking, ask this question. They want to hear it, and they want to hear the answer to that. I think you're going to lose some of that if in these technical review sessions.
Okay. We pretty much everybody in town knows that you have had some health issues over the last few months. So if you could, with sparing me all the gory details, could you just give us a little brief rundown of what happened and how you're doing? Because everyone is concerned.
Oh, thank you, and honestly, all the prayers and all the phone calls and messages, I certainly appreciate those. I needed all of those, and I have had a lot of people very concerned, and I appreciate that. I was up in, it was in St. George. I was at Dixie Medical where I was getting some treatment. Had just a little growth removed from my ankle. Went back to work the next day, and 5 weeks later I couldn't walk because they'd given me a staph infection. Unfortunately, they didn't diagnose the staph infection for 3 more weeks, and it spread to the bone. And so it's a serious condition. I've been fighting it for, actually, the first surgery was December the 13th. So
oh my goodness.
It's been over 3 months since this whole process began, but I had a second surgery to drain some of the infection, and it's unfortunately it's in the bones, so now they're treating me with some hyperbarics, and 3 times a day I'm getting some antibiotics through an IV. The last 10 days I finally feel like I'm me again, so
good.
I feel like I'm getting outside, getting some sun on my face. I miss the kids. I want to go back to work, and just to be able to go out there with the boys and show them some golf, teach them some golf. Just those things I just miss so bad. But I am feeling better, thank you.
Well, good. It's good to see you halfway up and about now.
Yeah,
a little
still
bit.
Can't walk, but
Yeah.
I'm close.
Good. All right, well, thank you very much, Bubba. We appreciate your time today, and good luck in the election.
Thank you, Barb. I appreciate that.